Okay. Well, I want to welcome you guys to another live broadcast of the Halftime Chat R&B podcast. And I've got a special return guest, music producer, songwriter, and bass player extraordinaire, Mr. DOA Allen. For those who might be thinking, I've heard of him. One of his first songs that he ever wrote and produced. Well, it was his first song was "College Girl" on the Bobby album. Um, he did also record a song called "I Need a Girl" with featuring Whitney Houston, but we never got to hear that. I'm surprised we that never came out, but that would have been
Right,
awesome to see. Um,
right.
but he has worked and produced for many people from Kem. He has done work and production with Black Girl as well as Karen White. We should expect some new music from Karen White as well. And just recently, Mr. Legend himself, Eddie Levert Sr., his new single
Yeah.
was also produced by Derek. I've missed out so many other people that you've worked with. And we a review of the Bobby's Forever album. He didn't do commercially as well as his other albums, but you did some real good tracks on there as well. Welcome.
Man.
How good is
Well,
how have you been? I mean, have you been in the studios? You've been producing, working. What's been going
yeah.
on with you?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me back, man. It's just it's wonderful to talk to you again, my brother. Um, our last conversation was so amazing, and I want everybody to know this time I reached out to my brother, and my brother just didn't say no. So, man, I want to thank you, man, for having me back on to speak on something completely different. But yeah, I've been good. Been finishing up some projects. Been working with Karen. Karen has some phenomenal music that's getting ready to come out. And then just finished trying to get this album out with Joe. He's still kind of trying to figure it out, mixing stages and stuff like that. And but yeah,
Oh, with who? Joe?
Joe Thomas, yeah, his next project as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, just trying to finish up, working on his project, and he's got a phenomenal body of work that's coming out. And then just really, I've been able just working with people that I really enjoy working with. There's been a big change since the last time you and I spoke. Um, in my life as far as production artists that I'm working with. The next step in my life is why I'm pretty much here today to kind of speak about that. So right now I'm kind of I had to kind of balance my life out with stress and work and some of the pressures that I was under, working with certain people, certain individuals. So I had to make a change, and now I'm working with people that I really enjoy. I'm having fun again. You know, when when you doing music, and it's not fun, if it's no fun, then it becomes a real job. It becomes a real 9 to 5. I have to do it because I love it. First of all, I just don't want to do it because I'm chasing money or trying to pay bills or
Mm.
trying to take care of my family solely. I want to do it because I love it, because I never got in this business to make money or to be rich. I just got into this business to um, because I love music and I love working with people. So now it's kind of getting back to that spirit, that vibration for me. Um, and I'm really having fun doing doing what I'm doing, and working with the people that I'm working with, like my brother Sean Rayford, and my brother Lucky Witherspoon, and working with people that I love. Just working with is really, really important for me. And then, yeah, work with the great Levert. that I had an opportunity, and I want to send a shout out to Jay King for making that happen. Um, but I just finished doing a single on Mr. Levert, and work with him was actually a great experience. I had a chance to work with with Gerald back in the day.
Yeah.
Had a chance to make history with Gerald Levert. Um, so I'm blessed, man. I'm really blessed. Just be able to work with some of the people that I have been working with. Um, so yeah, but right now it's crazy because my life is my life goes in chapters. And the last time we talked, I shared the
Mm,
story about the transition from being a bass player to being a songwriter,
yeah.
songwriter producer, and my last um, thing as a bass player was with Lionel Richie for several years, and working with my brother Chucky Booker in the band was just phenomenal. And during in my 40s, before I was about to hit my 50s, I just said, I I, I it was time for a change. It
Mm,
was time for a change. And I wanted to really focus in on being a producer, man. I wanted to, I was an okay producer, in the 90s, and I'm thankful, I had some records with Tyrese, and big
mm,
record with my little brother Smokey Norfolk, and a lot of people, a lot of people. But I wanted to be noted as, not just as a bass player. So people kind of, just knew DOA as DOA as bass player, and that was cool. But I wanted to be this producer. So I didn't have time to really, develop my skills as a producer, just because the road just had me so busy. Just it was just constant on the go, and never really
mm.
had time to really get great at it. I would sit around and watch my brother Chucky Booker, and he's just the greatest producer that I've ever met on the planet, right? So I would try to steal stuff from him, have him show me stuff, and he would teach me all this stuff, and I said, okay, man, I really want to take that and expand on it and just try to be better. So, so the next transition was being a producer, getting off the road and starting like all over, reinventing myself. And I'm a
Mm,
believer, I'm a strong believer in God, my faith. And I took a big leap off a cliff, and just said, God, you got to have me, you got to not let me, I'm going to fall, I'm going to land on something. You're not going to let me crash and burn. And it took about almost 17, 18 years for the reinvention to happen. I mean, God put the right people in my life. I met
mm,
a beautiful brother by the name of Gerald Isaac, who basically, came into my life, managed me, still managed me to this day. And um and uh, doors just started to swing open, and more records, more projects, more chart topping projects, more just things started to happen. So 17 years later, the reinvention was there. So now, being in my 50s and doing this production thing and seeing where it's going, seeing how music is changing, and working with certain artists. I'm not going to mention any names, but working with certain artists that I just didn't want to be working with, and I had to
oh.
because I needed the money, and working with these big labels. And but then it became to kind of weigh on my health and my stress level, and I had to just say I had to let it some things go. And once I did that, my life became peaceful. Like I said earlier, working with people that I'm just loving, having fun, doing things that I'm enjoying doing. And now I'm at another transition point in my life now. So,
Mm.
which is, my academy that I'm building here in the city of Sacramento.
Okay. I mean, we'll get into the academy. I think, but I think, we recently lost an NFL player for the Cowboys last
Sure.
weekend, who took his life due
Sure.
to no matter he just touched down money and everything, but still mental health, and he
Sure.
sadly passed away. And you said that even though as a producer creating music, there was a difference if you like you just didn't get along with. And does that have an impact on the kind of rating, and if you were almost forced into to doing it?
No, nah. I mean, I love the music. The music was great. It's never been about the music that I was creating. Um, it's just, music is spiritual, man. Music is a spirit.
Mm,
People just don't understand how music is a vibration, and to prove that is, when you listen to the song and you're touched by it, and it makes you cry or it makes you laugh or it makes you feel a certain way, that means that those producers, those musicians, those the artists who recorded that song, the record company, the marketing team, everybody that had something to do with that song that made you feel that way, deserves the credit, because music is just that powerful, right? So
yeah.
when you're in a situation that I mean, it's like this with me. I'm getting, my phone would ring and I see a name pop up and I would just cringe and I would just, you know, you know,
Wow.
I was like, oh, and 30, 40 years ago, I would have died to have these people calling me, but I'm looking at people calling me and I'm like, but I have to pick the phone up. Why? Because I have to make this money. And that's when it's becoming miserable to
Mm,
me. And so
mm,
so when you're doing music, you have to have a peace about yourself. You have to be happy with it in order
mm,
for that hit record to be made, or to establish what the artist is looking for. So if the negative energy is going into that music, it's not going to come out right. It's like, if like somebody
mm,
preparing a meal. If you're putting all the nasty
mm,
stuff in, or if you're over seasoning that food and then you go to prepare it,
mm,
you're going to make people sick. They're going to not eat it. They're going to walk away
mm.
from the table. Music is the same. It's the same thing. And so, and that's
Wow.
when I said to myself, God, I can't do, I actually, developed, um, a hernia popped in my stomach about 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was like, overnight, and and I'm not a guy to do. I don't really do hospitals or doctors, but
Mm,
I immediately went to ER, and basically they asked me two questions. The first questions is they were asking about my occupation, what I did for my job, and the first thing they asked me, they said, "Well, do you do a lot of heavy lifting on your job?" And I said, "No." And the next question, he said, "Listen, are you under a lot of stress? Are you under a lot of pressure?" I said, "Absolutely. Absolutely."
wow.
And he said, "This is what this is from." And
Wow.
it was a situation um, um, that right then and there, I said, "No, I can't do this." And nobody would have ever known. Nobody would have ever known,
Mm,
that I was, going through this situation, as well as a couple other things that I'm kind of dealing with. But that right there was, with me, was like, mm-mm. He said, "Dude, you got to leave that. Whatever you're dealing with, you got to manage that." You know. And I
mm,
feel sorry for the brother. My heart goes out to him and his family. I'm a
mm.
Cowboy fan, and so when I
Okay.
heard the news, I was heartbroken. But and you look at people like that. You look at people. It just goes to show, man. Money ain't everything, man. Money means nothing if you don't have peace, man, and
Mm,
happiness, man. I'd rather have wealthy relationships than being wealthy as a rich man with money. And I'm just thankful to God that I have very wealthy relationships. And
mm.
that's important. The kind of relationships that, like you, for example, this was very last minute. I'm gonna say this, everybody. I reached out to my brother and I said, "Hey, man, I need your help. This is what I'm trying to do." And he did not tell me no. And I'm so grateful, for that. If I was an asshole, or somebody that, like, our last experience was totally wrong and went
Mm,
bad, and I was
mhm.
that type of dude that you're interviewing, and I was arrogant and I just was not a good person, you wouldn't have answered that call that fast. You probably would have said, "Well, let me let me think about it." You know what I'm saying? Because hey, man, I'm telling you, man, and I'm not going to mention any names because people have gone on. But I made a
Mm,
vow, man. Certain individuals and that I worked with, that I will never work with them ever again. I don't
Wow.
care. Just will never do it again because it was just too much of a problem. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
so so I'm just grateful for where I am right now mentally, health wise, and the
Mhm.
next venture has gotten me super excited.
Okay, and I know we're going to get into that, but the other thing you did do over the last couple of years was lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DOA playlist. I'm excited. I'm excited about the DOA playlist. And there again, it goes to having wealthy and healthy relationships, man. Because everybody, and I got to get you on my playlist, man. You're coming up next. We got to turn the table. We got to turn the tide. But the point is that everybody that I reach out to and that I invite, man, no one has told me no. And these people are, they're doing it at a high level and they got their
Mhm.
lives and their families and their jobs. And I'm just really, just excited about the playlist. That I'm able to have cool conversations with new and upcoming artists as well, people that I've never met before, right? And man, I have a laundry list of people, I'm sure like you, that you just want to have a conversation with, man, and
Mhm.
and give them a platform to be able to talk about their thing. And another reason why I did the playlist was because I didn't do it to go viral. I didn't do it to break the internet down or nothing like that. My playlist honestly is for after I'm gone. It's like something that I want to leave behind for my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, that they can go and pull up a part of history and see their grandfather and their father and say, wow, you know, they can go back and see actually, just have a moment with me and people that I've had that meant a lot to me in my life. And so just leaving the content that's going to be a part of a legacy when I'm gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing you did is you gave flowers to a lot of musicians that most of us might not have known about or heard about, but especially in this era where a kid can go in his bedroom, use the computer, make a beat, and then that's it. But hey, you had these musicians who are actually creating the music, and that's been a almost a lost art of being a musician. So
Gosh.
it's good that if you go through the playlist and listen to some of the guests that you've had and talking about those experiences. So guys, search DOA playlist, and if you see it in black and white, it's don't adjust your computer. That's how he refers to
It's
in
going to
black
be in
and
black
white.
and white.
There's
It's
a
so
reason
it's
for
so
that.
it's going to definitely be in black and white. People ask me why I do it in black and white, and they ask me all the time why I do. And a lot of my Instagram stuff is in black and white. And it's real simple. Is because growing up, growing up, we never had a color TV. Never.
Wow.
We didn't get a color TV until I was in the 12th grade. 12th grade, and I bought my mother a color TV with some money I had saved. And we never had, so I was so used to watching everything in black and white unless I went over to my cousin's house or whatever. So I just got used. I said, so when me and the producer were talking about the playlist, I said, dude, look, can I see what it looks like in black and white? You know, and it looked cool. I said,
Mhm.
just this is gonna work, man. Let's do it in black and white. Just it doesn't bother me. I'm so used to, and now, and honestly, man, I'm not really a TV watcher, but when I do go watch TV, I go watch old black and white shows like man, Andy
Oh.
Griffith, Three Stooges. Man, I watch black and white TV, man. Old
Okay.
Gomer Pyle. So I'm so used to that, man. I'm kind of like an old school, old soul. People tell me that all the time. So that's why we do it in black and white. But to your point, in the showing and shining love on younger musicians, older musicians, some of these guys that's kind of feel forgotten about. Um, that means that's important to me. I think that's important to me as somebody who's been in the business for a long time, to honor and give shine to the newer millennials. Because I tell you, man, these guys these days are doing it at a whole nother level than
Mm.
I was when I was growing up, man. They're doing it at a whole nother level, man. You got kids from 6 to 17 years old that's
Mm.
playing like grown men, grown women, and they're just extraordinary in their gift. And they got more tools. They have tools that we didn't have. Of course, we had, vinyl. We had records that if we wanted to learn something, we had to slow it down
Yeah.
or try to, figure it out, or cassette, rewind it, or 8 track. So we didn't have all the tools. We didn't have the luxury of, YouTube and the things that they have right now to learn. So there it's a lot of great musicians out there, man, that I just admire, man. And I'm just having fun doing it, just having a great time.
So when's the next series of the playlist coming out?
The next one will be on this coming up Monday.
Okay,
I
back.
got a
Okay.
very special guest that's coming up. I'm not going to say who it is, but y'all want to definitely tune in and check this one out on Monday. Very, very amazing producer, one of the greatest producers of our time. So y'all don't want to miss it.
Okay. Okay. And we're going to get into the academy, and I think,
Take your
um,
time, man.
yeah, people are mentioning turn away, and I did you play with Chucky on some of those tracks?
I played with Chucky. Oh, that's from his first album. So me and Chucky worked on
Okay.
some of the remixes on the first album.
Okay.
We did some of the remixes together to the first album, like "That's My Honey" and a few other songs. But I played, a majority on the second album, which was the "Nice and Wild" albums. That's the one with games on it,
Yeah.
and that's the album that I worked on. We used Soul
Okay.
Trilogy and all that stuff with University. Um, but man, Chucky, trust me, Chucky did not need me for nothing. He just, oh my goodness. I remember the first
Yeah.
time I heard about Chucky, man. I was getting ready. Well, it was just a name. It was just a buzz flying around, flying around. And a friend of mine took me to a studio, and he was working in the band. He was in the band that Chucky was producing, this band called Rama. And Chucky was in the studio. They were at a big studio somewhere in Santa Monica somewhere. And he says, "Man, I'm come to the studio, man. Working with Chucky Booker." That's the first time I heard his name. He says he's mixing our album.
Wow.
I said, "Okay, cool." So now this is a band, right? This is a full band. They got bass, drums, horns, everything, right? So we go to the studio. I'm super green at this point. I'm green. So I go to the studio. He was the drummer in the group. So we go to the studio, and before I could get in, they had me waiting in the lobby, but I'm hearing all this music come out. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, man, this band is funky, man. Woo, this band is really killing, right? So I go in there, so they bring me in to meet Chucky. He's in there by himself. So me, I'm like asking questions. I'm like, hey, Mr. Booker, hey man, it's good to meet you, man. Ooh, sounds good. I'm like,
Mr.
man,
Booker.
you know, uh, dang man, so I'm asking my partner, so man, is that you playing drums? No, 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 man, that's Chucky. That's Chucky, man. That's Chucky. So I'm like, who's playing bass? Oh man, that's Chucky. That's Chucky. That's Chucky. I said, that's you. He said, yeah, man, that's me. He says, I'm like, okay, so who's playing keys? Man, that's Chucky. That's you, dude. So I'm like, okay, what the hell Chucky need y'all for? So quickly, so I'm catching on now. I'm learning too much about the whole thing, right? So quickly, he got me up out the studio and we left. We're like really, really fast because all the things, the secrets was out. I'm like, oh, y'all didn't even play. Who's singing? That's Chucky. I'm like, so that's my first time, like, right hearing about it. So, man, I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. I
Mm.
could not believe it that just one dude was that amazing. And then
Wow.
a couple of years later, I got the gig with Troop. a couple of years later.
Yeah, yeah,
Me and my friend, we auditioned for Troop, got the gig with Troop with my brothers. And so I'll never forget this, man. When we got there, they gave us I think it was their cassette of their album with Mamacita and their first album. So they were
yeah.
listening to the album in the in the room, and they got to that song called My Heart.
Yeah, my heart, yeah.
So I'm listening to this song, My Heart, man, and the bass line is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm listening to it. I'm like, okay, so hold on. I said, so this My Heart song. I said, who's who's playing bass on there? They said, man, that's this dude named Chucky Booker. I said, okay, so y'all expect me to play that? I said, yeah, man, that's your job. That's your job. You, I said, man, wait a minute. Now I'm really blown away because Chucky did not only playing bass, he did everything on that record. So y'all go listen to My Heart. Everybody who's watching this
Mm,
on Troop on the very
yeah.
first Troop album, and I guarantee you, your nose gonna blow up because your speakers gonna have doo doo poop out your speakers. It's so funky. So then that's when I became a huge fan. And
Wow.
later on, when I was playing with Karen White, um, Chucky's name was just exploding all over the place. Exploding, exploding. Then I heard Turned Away. And I
Mm,
couldn't believe Turned Away. It was a monster, monster song. And I'm like, this dude is one man who's incredible on all these instruments. I'm like, dude, it just makes me want to say, I could never be like that good. I quit. This dude was doing everything, man. He was incredible. Then we had this chance to. We were in at Florida at a convention, at a WEA convention, and they all were signed to the same umbrella. Karen was signed to Warner
Atlanta.
Brothers. Chucky
Mm.
was Atlantic, and so we had this weird convention. And so that night, I think we played. For example, we may have played on a Wednesday night, right? Well, Chucky was going to be playing on a Thursday night, and normally, if we was going to be playing on that Wednesday, that means Thursday morning we would have been flying somewhere else to do another gig or something. But Karen was like, "Hey, we playing the Chucky Booker's playing tomorrow night. I'm willing to treat everybody. If you guys want to stay an extra day to see the Chucky Booker show, I'll take care of everybody and we can see the Chucky Booker show." And everybody's like, I want to see the Chucky Booker show.
Wow.
We want to see the Chucky Booker show. Because they was playing the night after us, right? So
Okay.
Karen had a great show. Karen was immaculate. She was, I call her Tina Turner Jr. She
Yeah, I
Tina
love
Turner Jr.
Karen.
She was just killing everybody, right? So we got the chance to stay the next day to hear this dude. Now, by this time, I didn't heard "That's My Honey." I didn't heard "Don't You Know I Love You." I didn't heard "Keep Your Guard Up." I didn't heard "Turned Away." This whole album, and this whole dude playing everything on his album other than on "Keep Your Guard Up." That's his mother playing on "Keep Your Guard Up."
Goodness.
Mom was playing. So, man, we all were like kids at Christmas sucking on lollipops, man. Like, just getting ready for the show, man. We like, so Chucky, I ran to him and he saw me. He says, "Yo, man, what's up?" I said, "Man, what's happening?" I'm tripping because he's speaking to me, right? He said, "Yo," he said, "Man, dude, did," I said, "Man, well, we played with Karen last night." He said, "Okay, yeah, I saw," because him and Karen was tight. He said, "Yeah, I just talked to her, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Man, we get the chance to see you tonight, right?" And so he says, "Man, dude, after the show, after we do our thing, I want you to come up to my room because we're gonna have a jam session. I want you to come up to the room." I said, "Really, bro?" I said, "Can I bring my bass?" He said, "Man, yeah, bring your bass. Yeah, for sure." I said, "Wow." So we watched Chucky's show and we all were blown away by his show, man. It was incredible. He had some bad musicians from Derek Organ, Tommy Organ, Cornelius Mims, Rex Silas. I mean, he had an incredible band that we just were blown away, bruh. But the biggest thing was afterwards, I went up to his room with my bass and I sit down and he invited me in and they had some setups, they had some drums, electric drums, they had a couple of amps and Chucky had a little keyboard and they were just having this jam session. And man, I got a chance to play. Then he got a chance to really hear me play um play bass, man. And that's what was history. And I think the deal breaker, I'm gonna show everybody what the deal breaker was. I broke out this on everybody. I broke this thing here out on everybody. So I see that right there. It's like it's called a penny. It's
Oh, the
it's a
penny.
penny. Yes, a
Uh,
penny. I broke the penny. I broke the penny out on everybody in the room, and everybody kind of like lost it, right? So Chucky gave it. So then after I played, Cornelius picked up the bass and started to play. And Cornelius was getting funky, and then Chucky said, "Hey man, what can you do with this?" So Chucky handed him the penny. He says, "Well, I don't do nothing with a penny. I play with a pick sometimes." And Chuck said, "D, get that bass and show everybody what you can do with that penny again." I said, "Gladly."
wow.
So we started going back into some grooves, some grease. Got the penny, we greasing. Right afterwards, Chucky said, "Dude, I want you to. I'm gonna be out for 3 more weeks. I'm going to call you, and I want you to, come to LA and work with me." I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't believe him. I was just happy to meet the brother because Chucky was, he was doing everybody back then. He was just a man. He called me 3 weeks later. He called me on a Thursday. I'll never forget. He said, "What are you doing this weekend?" I said, "Who is this?" He says, "Chucky." I said, "Chucky who?"
Did you
He said, "Stop
forget
playing,
or
man.
what?
This Chucky Booker." I didn't forget. I just didn't believe it.
Oh,
I said, "Man, get out of here." He said, "D, what are you doing this weekend?" I said, "Nothing." He says, "Man, I want you to come down, man, do these remixes with me. I'm doing some remixes on my album. That's my honey and a couple other things." I'm like, "Dude, you don't need me to do no remixes with you. Are you crazy?" He says, "Bro, forget it. Your plane ticket to be up. You coming down? I'll see you tomorrow." Flew me in, man, and we were in the studio for almost 48 hours, just having fun, man, just creating a brotherhood. That's when my life changed when it came to music, when it came to the bass, just the bass guitar and opportunities. Um, that's when everything changed. Meeting that dude was just, and I was able to learn so much from him. And we learned so much just vibing off of each other down through the years. And I could never repay that brother for what he's done in my life and what he's meant to
mm,
me. I could never. Money couldn't repay it. I couldn't do it.
mm.
There's not enough money in the world I can give this brother.
I think one of the things that we doesn't get talked about is that he's De Levant. You know De Levant.
D. Levance, absolutely, yes.
When he was, I think he was 17, 16 in high school, and he went to a music talent show, and Chucky was 18, and the band, at the talent show in high school, and he says, "Oh, you don't have the stuff set up? I'll be your band. Tell us the song, we'll sing it for you." I mean, see, this is De Levant, and he's remembering Chucky when he was about 16, being generous with, yeah, we'll play the Michael Jackson stuff for you. Um, Countless times you hear other people talk about how generous he is with
Oh,
his talent, and it's hard to find one of the good guys consistently within the industry.
oh
Um,
man, yes,
yeah, that's the hard thing where, because you know, and even the fact that he decided to not be a big artist star, like, I'll take the back and let somebody else shine.
yeah, yeah.
No
Well,
ego.
that's good. I'm gonna send a shout out to D, man. D. Levantis. He's just an incredible musician himself, just
Mm,
incredible, and the love and respect that those two have for each other is just incredible. The respect that they have for one another. But you said it, man. It's too easy to be nice to people, man. You understand what I'm saying? You have to make yourself be an asshole, right? Because you know, God didn't create. We wasn't born assholes, right?
mm,
Born that we were born. innocent people. So I think as you get older and however your vibration turn you in your life, your 20s, your teens, and however you go is how you go,
Mm.
and that's who you become. But Chucky is one of them humble guys that, will definitely try to. He doesn't even know the meaning of the word no. He'll try to help somebody even if he know he can't. He's always willing to try to help. And I've seen him, you know, sow seeds in so many people's lives and watch their careers just blossom. And so that's important because
Mm.
that's something I definitely learned as a kid from my mother. you know
Mm.
my mother made me promise her that if anything and when it happens to always make sure you give it back. Understand that
Wow.
you give it back. It doesn't belong to you, it belongs to God, so it's for you to give it back and help. That's who Chucky Booker is.
Mm.
And speaking of his career, Chucky could have been, Chucky had another several hit man. Chucky walked away from several millions of dollars. He left it on the table. The reason why was because music started to change, right? In the 90s,
Mm.
things started to change. And, you know, Chucky is such a creative dude. I mean, he didn't need nobody to tell him how to make an album, especially his own music, right?
Mm.
So when it was kind of turning that way, where, you know, they wanted Chucky to dumb it down, bubble gum it up, um,
Mm.
you know what I mean, water it down, put some microwave oven on it, you know, he wasn't willing to do that. The music meant too much for him. And then you got to remember who his godfather was. Or
Mm.
his
Yeah.
godfather was the great Barry White. So he's
Yeah.
learning as a kid how to control your own destiny, how to be in control of your intellectual property, how to own your master. Man, Chucky's being taught this at the age of 10 years old. He's
Mm.
getting it.
Mm.
Chucky is a chosen one. He's a chosen man. He's a
Mm.
chosen man. He's one of God's chosen few. And I'm not just on my brother's kneecaps because I love him. I'm
Yeah.
telling this the truth to you this because it's the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
Chuck, I said it before, Chucky and Prince. Period.
Yeah.
Chucky
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Prince. Take your pick. Take your pick. Chucky and Prince. So
Definitely.
he said, you know what? I'm gonna do my album and I'm gonna do this album, and then I got another cool job. I got a cool day job that allows me to be the MD for the biggest artists in the world, from Tina Turner to Lionel Richie to everything body. He says, I'm gonna do that because I don't want to sell my beliefs and sell my soul out to
Mm.
what this industry wants me to have.
Yeah.
Chucky was getting multi-million dollar publishing deals back in the day. He will never tell you this, but I can say it. Chucky was in the okay. He was in the okay place to say no. I'm good, and that's what
Mm.
he did. And he's been doing his thing, and now he's got the itch again. So he's got the itch because now he knows that kind of like um the world is kind of like where you can do it how you want to do it now and do it yourself, and
Mm.
you ain't got nobody looking over your shoulder. You can kind of do it now. So we've been working on some university stuff, and
Okay.
once his Chucky's schedule's so crazy, and once it lightens up, he's working on an album right now that's absolutely phenomenal. In fact, he's got one album in the can. I'm gonna share the secret. Chucky has an album in the can right now that's so phenomenal he won't release it.
Oh
And, I,
goodness.
and it's the thing, when you look at these stories about all these geniuses and
Like
like
Prince.
Marvin Gaye's and Prince and Michaels, they got they thing, man. It's like I'm like, all right, book, whatever you say, big bro. And
Wow.
the reason why I know I played on some of the stuff, and I'm talking
Mm.
about it's a record where he's paying homage to his most favorite musicians and most favorite artists.
Wow.
And if it's an Earth, Wind, and Fire that he's paying homage to, trust me, you're gonna think that Maurice and Earth, Wind, and Fire and Beloit Taylor and Larry Dunn has got back together. That's how these records feel. If it's a stylistics, oh my goodness, you're gonna think that the stylist then came back and just recreated the whole thing again. So he has a record right now that's just absolutely unbelievable,
Oh my
and
goodness.
that's sitting in the thing now. So y'all just send him an email or hit his IG, say Chucky, release the album. Please release the album.
Yeah, I think he did tell me something about that he did it and he was going to redo it again. But wow,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the other thing
There's some
is
things. Yes, go ahead.
no. The other thing was about the because California, unlike um, New York, you had your own sound, like the Southern
Mm,
California, LA scene, and the
mm,
Bay Area, and when New York was big into New Jack Swing and that was spreading, hearing from others um, from California, they said they were influenced mainly by something called go-go as opposed to New Jack. Was that the case for yourself as well?
mm. Not really go-go. No,
Okay.
I'm not. That's new to me. Now, our thing was just all about the funk. Our biggest influence was nothing but pure the funk. And and it is a different type of funk. We have a funk when you look at, Sly Stone, when you
Okay.
look at Larry Graham, when you look at Prince and Sheila, came to California and recruited a lot of the musicians that was in their band from the Bay
Ah.
Area to where we are to SAC to just whole Northern California. It's a different type of grease that lives here in Northern California, in Oakland, in Sacramento, in the Northern California. It's a different type of grease. It's raw, uncut. A lot of the influence that we had was playing in quartet groups. There's a big, heavy quartet influence that comes out of this city, and that quartet experience is implied in a lot of their playing. You got,
Mm.
some of the younger guys like Sadiq and Carl Wheeler, Elijah Baker, Jubu,
Oh,
Eric
Chugu, that's
Pickfunk
good.
Smith.
Mhm.
Eric Pickfunk Smith. I mean, just the greats that we all come. Our thing was quartet. Remember Tony, which was one of the biggest soul bands in the world. No, there'll probably never be another band like it. They were nothing but a bona fide quartet group. Period. They fooled everybody. They fooled the world. They were playing music that they was raised on, quartet music, and making hit records and getting rich.
Mm.
So
I
so
get it.
it was Tire Power with Lenny Williams. I mean, Bobby Vega. I mean, you got so many funky musicians that are out here, and it's a different kind type of grease. I compare Northern California to Ohio.
Ah,
Same kind of funk.
okay.
Ohio got some uncut grease that they put
Mm.
it on that skillet. They gonna burn your ass up. They don't play, right?
Okay.
So, it's a different type of grease, it's a different type of hump, it's a different type of thing that's kind of rooted here in the Northern California. And I'm very proud to be from here.
I mean, Stevie and the rest were saying, did you play on "Waiting for You" by Tony?
I produced that record. I played
Okay.
everything on it. Yeah. Yeah, I produced that record. I wrote the whole song, produced it. I played everything. I had Chucky come in and play some parts. Chucky played some parts. I'm singing all the backgrounds. That's Raphael singing the lead.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
At this time had Jubu and the rest separated from them? Was it?
No, no, at this time they were highly connected. That's when they were making all that history right here in the city of Sacramento. The anniversary album, the Southern California, all of that stuff, man. That's when they were just on the prime of superstardom during that time.
Oh, so I would have thought that the rest of the musicians would have been playing, but you did a Chucky Booker on them, right?
So let me tell you the story. Let me tell you the story behind it. So I did this record, and Sadiq lived not too far from me. I called him. I said, "Yo, man, got this song, man. This record. I want you to hear it." He heard it. Let's cut it. Let's cut it. Let's cut it. So he just cut the record, right? maybe a week or so later, he called me. He said, "Yo, you know, um, uh, God, John Singleton needs a record for um,
Boys
the
in the Hood.
Poetic Justice
Oh,
movie."
Poet
He says,
Justice.
"Man,
Okay.
I want to use this for the movie. Are you good with it?" I'm like, "Man, are you kidding me?" Yes, yes. So he just rolled with it, put it in the movie, and the rest was history. That song is on the when Janet walks in, no, when Tupac walks in, delivers the mail, and Janet says, "Can you want to smell my punani or something?" So it's on the punani scene. The best scene. So you can't miss my song playing back there. It's on the Punani scene. So
Okay.
y'all Google Poetic
Okay.
Justice, just Google the Punani scene and Google, it'll come up, that clip. So you hear waiting for you back there. So man, me and Ray had so much fun cutting the record, man. Ray said, I said, "Ray, you want to play bass?" He said, "Nah, man, I want to leave it just like it is." I said, "Cool." And then the
Okay.
rest was history.
Okay.
But let me
And
tell you
this.
something. Let me tell you
Go
something
ahead.
about that song. Okay, at that time, I was signed to Michael Jackson. He was signed me as a publisher, as a writer. I was signed to ATV at that time, right?
Mm.
So Michael was his own power of attorney at that time.
Wow.
So the publishing company, my principals who I dealt with, they were excited about this placement on this movie. But the problem was Michael Jackson had to sign off on it. We needed his signature. And there was a timeline that we had to get his signature. If not, we was gonna miss the cut and miss the song.
Wow.
Man, we got into the last maybe 30 minutes. And this was talking about trying to find him
Wow.
after like 2 or 3 weeks trying to find him. Nobody knew. Hey man, he was like Saddam Hussein down in the we didn't find him down in the dirt in the desert somewhere, man, underneath the ground. So I was getting like really, really worried. I was like, oh my gosh. They said, "Derek, we just need to sign it." And at that time, that's when you was faxing stuff. We just need to get a
Oh,
signature.
fax it.
Boom, done. And I'm telling you, man, it was the last probably, and I promise you, I'm not even exaggerating. It was probably between the last 30 to 45 minutes that they found him. And he was
Wow, that
really
close.
somewhere in Saudi Arabia, somewhere. This real talk, man. I can't make this up, dude. I can't make it up. Hey, dude. Hey, man. How blessed am I, bro? How blessed am I? How blessed am
Wow.
I to be able to tell the story, bro? So they found him. He signed off on it. Boom, and we got the song. The song made the film in time. That's how it happened. That's how the song made it.
My goodness. And then that's your second connection with Janet after supporting her on the Rhythm Nation tour. Now you
That
got a
was my
song in it.
second connection with. Well, yeah. So after Rhythm Nation, yeah. Then I got a song in her scene on the Punani scene. The Punani scene.
What about A Few Good Men? Did you do
Oh
stuff with them?
wow. Yeah, man. Few Good Men, man. That's another amazing group. I gotta send my shout out to my dude AJ who hooked me up with um Daryl Simmons. That because they were signed to Daryl Simmons, silent partner at that time. And
Yes, yes.
yeah, so Daryl Simmons reached out to me about some songs, Few Good Men, and I wrote a couple of songs, 2 songs, and he loved it. And next thing you know, I'm in Atlanta working with these phenomenal brothers who are on the comeback right now, doing their thing.
Mm.
So these jokers could sing too. Trust me, they singing on their records. They could sing too. So I was happy. I did 2 songs and I was just happy to be in the same conversation with with Daryl Simmons and LaFace, that whole thing. So that's when
Mm.
things started to kind of get my feet wet. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of like getting my feet a song here, a song there, 2 songs here. That's when it was kind of just starting for me, man.
Do you think College Girl on the Bobby album was that? Do you think that really was your big? Because I think everybody just like, who's DOA? Because that, but I don't know if was that the big breakthrough you
No,
think, or
no,
was there
not
another?
not even. College Girl was my first record, but by far, lately was definitely with Tyrese. Lately was the breakthrough record that
Okay.
that did it. But College Girl, that record, was on that Bobby album, and it established a great relationship with me and Bobby, and I was so happy to be a part of that history with Bobby. Not only
Mm.
that, I played bass with him, and then I worked on
Yeah.
the Forever album, and then we did the New Edition Home Again tour, the reunion tour. But lately on the secular side, lately was the record that just sent things kind of like things through the roof as producer. And then, of course,
Okay.
Smokey Norfolk with I Need You Now. And that really took it over because that brought the Grammy home for us.
Okay. The we're going to go on to the Academy, but the Forever album, because I didn't really know that you did much of it until myself, Stevie, and some did a review on it, and I'm like, oh, you did about half the tracks on that. I, w- Meeting Bobby for the second time, well, not really the second time, but working with him after the Bobby album on the Forever album, um, and not getting the push from MCA. What was it
Yeah.
different when you worked on the Forever album compared to the Bobby album the very first
Man,
time?
the Forever album was I was more comfortable. I knew what I was doing. The first album I told you the story about Whitney and
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
thing. So this time I knew what I was doing. I was getting better at it. And me and Bobby, we had a thing to where we had a I mean, we were writing some good music together, and that was a bad album, man. I don't care what nobody said. That album was great. Tim and Bob, oh my
Mm.
gosh, man, the records that
Yeah, yeah,
the rec-
yeah,
and
yeah.
I've been a fan of Tim and Bob for forever. And then to be in the
Mm.
same studio, we're sharing the same studio with the big SSL room. It was just really a dope situation. And man, Atlanta, I felt at home in Atlanta at that time. It was really the music family was really a family, man. It was non-competitive.
Wow,
Everybody supported each other. With LaFace and
wow.
Outkast and Darp and Bosstown,
Mm,
the Goody Mob.
mm.
Everybody was really family, man. It was really a vibe. So the feeling, like thinking about it right now, just takes me back to that time, and it was just a really feel good thing. It was it was really dope working with Bobby, man. Bobby was my guy, man. And then not only that, he made me the MD. There's some great music on there, like "She's All I Need" was a beautiful ballad that wrote for that record, and we ended up doing, some TV stuff. So the main problem with that, let me tell you the secret behind it. What happened was Bobby was not happy with the first single, "Feeling Inside."
Oh,
He didn't.
oh, that wasn't
That
his
that
idea.
single was
Okay.
forced. That single
Oh,
was forced. And that's all I'm gonna say. But he didn't want that as the first single. Man, if he should have dropped one of Tim and Bob's records, like My
yeah,
Place or something,
yeah,
would have been just bomb. Just would have took that record, would have been crazy. But
yeah.
he was not happy with that first single. He didn't even want to do it. It was forced. It was forced. So and the first single didn't happen. The
Mm,
first single didn't happen. We did Rosie, or what's her name? Rosie O'Donnell, I think her name
yeah.
is. And we did Keenan Ivory Wayne's show. We did David
Keenan, yeah.
Letterman. We did David Letterman. We did Chris Rock. Man, we had a
Chris Rock,
run.
yeah.
We did every program that there was out at that time. Leno, we did everything to push that record. And
That
Bobby
feeling
and
inside.
Bobby had plenty of support from the record company behind him because he was paying the band well, man. The band was getting paid extremely well. The producers of the record got paid well, so it wasn't like they didn't spend money trying to promote and push that record. That record was special to him because his imprint was all over that record. He was involved with almost every song on the record. Period. He wrote it. He didn't, yeah, he didn't have Teddy, he didn't have LA and Babyface, and he
Mm,
just kind of wanted to step out on his own, right? But he still had a great body of
mm.
work. Nobody gave it a chance after that first single. After the first single, nobody gave it a chance.
Wow. What would he have picked for his first single? Did he have an idea of?
I think he wanted to pick one of Tim and Bob's. He wanted one of Tim and Bob's records to be the first single, and that it should have been. You know, he
Yeah.
wanted Tim and Bob, and plus Tim and Bob, they were smoking at that time anyway. So, you know, but they went with Phil
Yeah.
Side, and he didn't want that record. I don't, you know, it was forced. It wasn't my record. It
Yeah.
was another producer's record.
Yeah. And I think the because I think on the Homo Again tour he did Forever, the title, but that was the Tim and Bob one. He did he was somebody showed me a clip of the of when he was doing the Home Again tour, and he had his section, and he then said, "Here's my new single," and he played the Tim and Bob song "Forever,"
I don't remember
which
that
was
because I was on that tour. I played on that band. So I'm trying to.
I think
I,
I think he used a sample of the Gap Band or something
okay,
like that.
maybe, but yeah, I don't because maybe it was a break and he just played a record because I don't remember playing. And I remember that tour like
Yeah,
it
I
was
was.
yesterday. I remember that tour so well,
Yeah,
man.
it was. Yeah, he sang like the first verse and the chorus of
Okay,
Forever,
okay,
but it
probably you're
was
probably right.
but it was but it was with the sample was, I think, one of the either the Gap Band like that, but um it
Okay,
felt, but that's Forever, and My Place, those two Tim and Bob songs, really loved them. So yeah, okay,
that's
we
why
didn't
he titled
realize
the
that.
album.
But
That's
you
why the album was titled Forever because of the work that Bob and those guys did. Man, it was just incredible. You know, so I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't know. Well, I do know. Like I said, the record I think was that first single was not a good choice. Feeling Inside was not the record, and he wasn't really even happy with the
mm,
video. You know, the video had him in the straitjacket
okay.
thing, and you know,
Yeah.
he just wasn't really feeling it. But we went and we toured. I mean, we did TV
Mm,
shows. We played
mm,
Feeling Inside. We played on Keenan Ivory's Wayne show, we did my song, She's All I Need. We did She's All I Need acoustically, and it came out beautiful, you know.
mm.
But you know, I was disappointed, you know, with it, but everybody knew that Feeling Inside was not the
Yeah.
right record. We all knew it.
How
We
did
all
you
knew
feel
it.
about Sunday Afternoon?
Man,
On a
Sunday Afternoon was my joint.
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday Afternoon was my joint,
Yeah.
man. Sunday Afternoon was my joint.
The
That's a
wow, 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 wow. What are you
yeah,
using?
yeah.
Piano or
I was a synth sound I
a
use. It's a
sense?
synth sound I use. Yeah, yeah, some kind of synth sound like a wah sound thing. But yeah, I played. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I play? No, Alex and Droney did strings on me for me on that record. Uh, uh, Alex and Droney played bass synth. I did the drums. I did the background vocals. That was a great record, man. Bobby, we were putting a show together with that song in on Sunday Afternoon. He paying homage to his wife and telling
Mm.
everybody, you know, we still together, and you know, y'all can say what you want to say, but we still together.
So
You
good.
know, he
Yeah,
called my name, DOA
yeah,
play, baby, and even the
yeah,
intro
yeah,
song,
yeah.
it's still my thing. It's still my thing. We open up and he gives me this big old thing with the intro. You know, I have to have my man DOA drop it. And then it gets funky. But anyway, man, I'm thankful for all those little things, man. For real.
Yeah.
For real.
So I mean, it's been great that we've been able to reminisce on some of your past stuff. But I remember when we first interviewed, and you mentioned about um, trying to get into orchestra, trying to give back to the communities. How is that? Have you had time to do any of that type of giving back to the community?
Giving back to the community always. But as far as the orchestra thing that I thought I would do after this, that took a back seat to this other vision that God put in my lap that I've been working on for about 3.5 years now. And
Wow.
that's my academy. That's the next phase. And and I'll be honest with you, I lost since last time we talked. I lost my engineer, and that's really took a big chunk out of my spirit. My engineer Brian Porter, that's been working with me for over 35 years. He
Wow.
passed last not this past year, last year, and And that's really, I'm still dealing with that loss. And that's,
Mm.
I've lost a lot of motivation when it comes down to a lot of things, even production wise. Um, I'm still devastated because everything, everything about me in production, he was 50% of it. He was my engineer. He was great. I loved him, love him to this day. And the city took a big, big, big loss. And so many other people, we took a big loss when we lost him. So
Wow.
so yeah, so the me building my academy trumped that. God just gave me a different way to go and put this other thing in my spirit. And so that's um where I am right now. And that's really going to definitely be about giving back and dealing with kids and bringing so that here where I live, they've taken so many programs out of schools. They've taken so much
Oh
out,
yeah.
and so this is going to be an opportunity for them to have something to do after school and uh, to learn the arts and be involved, deeply involved.
Okay. I mean, I know that we've got a PowerPoint, and there's some pictures that I wanted you
Yeah,
uh, to share through. Let me
yeah.
look and
Well,
find
let
how.
me let me let me let me just tell a little story about 7 years ago. About 7 years ago, I got a call. No, 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 no. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. Not 7 years ago. It was been longer than that. About 10, 11 years ago. I can't remember. But I got a call. It was right after Wayman died. Not immediately after, but Wayman had died. And a few
Mm.
years after that, I get a call from Kurt Whalum. So Kurt Whalum calls me up and he says, "Yo, D, I'm on the board of the Stax Music Academy." First of all, I didn't know about a Stax Music Academy. And I said, okay, cool. He says, man, every year, I mean, not every year, but every quarter, they study a genre of music. He works with the kids every quarter. One quarter may be rock, one
Mm.
quarter may be funk, reggae, hip hop. This particular quarter, they were going to be doing a thing on funk music. And he says, we're going to be honoring Wayman Tisdale, and George Duke was still living at this time. So this is why it was way little before George had passed. And then we're going to be honoring George Duke, right? So they're going to be honoring Wayman Tisdale and George Duke. He says, we want to honor Wayman Tisdale's funk record that you guys did, this last record that you guys did before he passed. I said, okay, cool. So now I'm a little confused. I said, so what do you want me to do? Do you want me to play, or am I playing bass? Or he says, I don't need you to do anything. I just want you to come down here, see these kids. I'm gonna put a little baton in your hand, and you just pretend like, just act like you conducting these kids and telling them what to do. I said, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you got kids that's gonna be playing the funk album? He said, not only that, they're gonna be playing with George Duke as well. I said, bruh, are you serious? He says, dude, I'll see you soon. So now, 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, I'm in Memphis because that's where he's from. And we're in Memphis. George show up the same time. We're all hanging out, me, George, and Kurt, and we're talking about this academy that he's talking. We're at dinner and he's telling us about these kids. And I said, man, there ain't no way, bro. And these kids are going to play behind George Duke. Really? I said, there ain't no. He says, don't, he says, look, we getting ready to go to rehearsal right now. You're going to see these kids. Well, we get to the academy, to the school, and I'm looking around, don't know nobody. So I'm looking around, and just a sidebar, guess who the bass player was? The bass player was Mono Neon. He was the bass player. Mono Neon was the bass player. I didn't even know who he was at the time. I know who he is now. The whole world know who he is now, right? So Mono Neon was the bass player. So when they started playing the music, and I'm talking about kids, man. I mean high schoolers. I'm about throwing up in all over the place in my mouth, bro. It was so incredibly amazing. I was amazed by it. And then they start playing George Duke's music. And then the next night, they had the actual thing for the friends, the families, the loved ones to come. They do this every quarter, man. They had a big place that held about maybe 700 people. The families, they all were supportive. It was packed. Right now, they're watching these kids dressed up in 70s, got big afros, playing all this funky George Duke and Dookie Stick and all this funky music in the funk album. Dude, it was the most amazing thing that I had seen watching these kids do this. That's what put it in my spirit about the academy and what I want to do. I saw it happen and it was absolutely incredible. And that's exactly the same. I kind of use that blueprint to say, to kind of get ideas of what I want to do with for my academy. And um, that's where it came from. That's where the vision came from. And then another thing happened to where a couple of years ago, um, my boy Joe Archie, who was the VP of my academy, and I got an offer to work with kids in a local program here. They were doing a program once a week. It was going to be for one quarter, and they asked me if I would work with kids on the music to come up with something. So we came up with a thing. I said yes. I had to think about it, but I said yes. Uh, in a lower income area, but man, every week we had 30 to 40 kids, right? So the thing was, between the end of the quarter, they were going to write their own song. They were going to produce their own song. They were going to sing their own song. And then we were going to do a video of the song, show the video. And their treat was we're going to go down to the radio station and introduce the city to the song that they created in a quarter. And that's, man, I saw the joy that these kids were having every week, learning how to write, the producers, these kids making the beat. Man, we didn't touch the music at all. They did it all themselves. They wrote the lyrics. Some of the girls got together. They want to be a group and sing their verses. We had some little rappers. They want to. So everybody participated on this song, and I saw how powerful that was. And
Mm.
when I left the program, I only did it once. I mean, I ran into people in the grocery stores that their mothers that was bringing their kids, and they said, "Oh, Mr. Allen, the kids really miss you. We hope that you can do this again someday." And and that's when I said, "Okay, God, I think we got something here. We got something here." And I'm praying about it. I'm like, "Okay, so how do I put this together?"
Mm.
And once again, God said, "Just use use the healthy relationships.
Mm.
Everything will come. Don't worry about the money. It's nonprofit. Think big. It's going to be a heavy lift, but use your relationships that you have and watch what happens."
Wow.
So the unique thing about my academy um, is that these kids is from third to 12th grade. It's an after school program, and these kids are going to be learning by the greatest musicians in the world, and they're going to be taught everything that has to do with the arts, man. Everything that has to do with arts, from production to ear training to piano to bass guitar to film and television.
Wow.
You're going to be taught all these things. Yes, everything. Everything that has to do with the arts for the most part. Except dance and stuff like that. We're
Okay.
not there yet, but the kids will have opportunity to learn from the greatest musicians in the world.
Is this all in Sacramento?
It's going to be in Sacramento, California. We got the building, and what's beautiful about it is, one thing is that God answered my prayers. I wanted it to be in the neighborhood that I was raised in, which
Mm.
is the city, but part of town is called Oak Park, California, and where the doors will be opening in Oak Park, California, here real soon. And the reason why I chose between 3 to 12 is because I really started to be able to understand bass guitar third grade playing in a quartet group in my first group ever in the third grade. And so, and now, man, you got kids that are in the sixth, seventh grade that's playing like astronomical, that's got so much talent.
Mm,
They're astronomical in their talent and their gifts. So, so yeah, it's a way to, and it is, and basically what I'm going to do is give back everything that God has given to me, everything that He has blessed me with,
mm,
everybody that I was able to meet in my life. I'm getting ready to give it away to all these
wow.
kids and bring them into the world and give it all back to them.
Would they be coming from different schools in the Sacramento area?
Be coming from all over, different schools, different neighborhoods, different communities. It'll be it'll be open to everybody. You must maintain a certain grade point average while you're in
Okay,
school
okay,
in
that's
order
good to know.
to be a part of. We're offering scholarships. We're going to be offering tuitions for
Wow,
people who can't, maybe can't afford it. We don't want to turn not one kid away. We're going to make it very reasonable for you to enroll your kids in school. Um, we want to make it affordable for everybody. Um, I don't want to turn one person away that wants to be a part of the
wow.
academy. You know,
But how many kids, once it's fully up and running, do you think you can handle in a season?
that's a good question, but we're going to be prepared to handle 1,000.
Wow.
We're gonna figure it out if we have to. We're not turning nobody away. If we have to, the wonderful thing is, um, it's going to be a heavy load. It's going to be a heavy
Mm,
load. But the beautiful thing is that, the instructors are going to be coming from everywhere, all over the place. I have about 20 instructors here just in my neighborhood alone that is
mm.
doing it real time. I mean, I wish I could have been a kid in the third grade and went to an academy, and my bass instructor was the musical director from Janet Jackson, or he was the bass player with Usher, or my piano teacher, played with Alicia Keys, or my horn teacher played with Prince or Aretha Franklin. I wish I had that favor. This is what we're going to be offering these kids.
Mm,
All these great
mm,
musicians in the world are saying, D, we want to be a part. We want to help. We
wow.
want to work with the academy. We want to work with the kids. And that's what I talked about, wealthy relationships, man.
Yeah, yeah.
If no one has told me no. And one thing we're going to do, which is going to be cool, is that once a quarter, every quarter we're going to bring somebody in. I'll bring somebody in like a Karen White or Chucky Booker or some of my guys from the Earth and Fire Band, and we'll
Mm,
do a master class, right? And have the talk to the families. We got a venue. We're gonna have this event. It'll be a fundraiser where sort of we got a DOA Academy Orchestra, right?
wow.
There'll be a DOA Academy Orchestra. So if when Karen White comes to town, whoever we invite, if it's Gerald Albright or Fred Hammond or Smokey Norfolk, whoever we invite, right?
Mm.
They're gonna come and turn around and do maybe two or three of their own songs, and the DOA Academy Orchestra will be playing behind these big artists.
Okay, okay. Wow.
That will give them an incentive to want to even to do it and do it on a whole nother level if they want. So when they graduate the academy, they got so much experience. If
Mm,
they want to go further and further their career,
mm,
they got so much experience from the DOA Academy of the Arts because they're working with in real time with artists, teachers that's going to teach them the art of touring. If you're going
mm.
to be a producer, how to make records, how to score film, how to do television, all of these things that's going to be that they're going to be able to get at this academy.
Yeah. The I mean, it sounds really great and ambitious. When would you hope to have the doors open for the first students to come through?
We're looking at between spring and summer. That's what we're hoping right now. The
Okay.
building is being built
Okay.
out right now. For those who's listening, please go to the website, DOA Academy of the Arts. That's DOA Academy of the Arts. You can go see the website. Go take a little tour of the website. and see some of the things that's happening, what's going to be offered. In a minute, the renderings of the school will be on the website, and really, really soon. We're still building the site out actually, but please go to DOA Academy of the Arts, and you will be able to
Okay.
see the website. In fact, we haven't even did a full drop on the academy yet. So you're getting it first, my brother. You're one of the first ones that we're breaking this story to, because we haven't really started promoting it yet. We're still building. I got a great group of people surrounded around me. This is new for me. It's a new adventure, and I got people that I love and trust that are brilliant, brilliant, brilliant at doing this, and that's a part of the team that's going to be working with these kids and giving it back to these kids.
Is it so? It should be on the screen. Is that the correct spelling? DOA Academy for of the Arts.
I, I wear glasses, so let me see. I can see. Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see it.
Oh, okay. It's DOA
Academy
Academy of
of the
the
Arts
Art.com.
.org
Oh,
dot
.org.
org. Yeah,
Okay,
.org. I'm sorry, I meant to say .org as well. Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
We'll get this set up. And
Beautiful.
yeah, nope. That one says .com, so I'll rewrite that. Let me see if I can delete. Yeah, I should be able to delete this. Hold on. Um, yeah, I think the because you're saying that, because a lot of guests that I've had spoke about doing band in school and playing instruments. So it seems as if that kind of those are limited to kids now.
It is. It really is, especially out here. It was limited. I mean, you gotta remember, man. It started in elementary school. It started in elementary school for a lot of people. I never did, but what I was one of those guys that my mom and dad. Well, my mom and dad tried to get me when I was a kid into like bass lessons, and I just wasn't disciplined. I didn't have the patience, and it was boring to me. I just wanted to plug and play because I knew how to play a whole note easy, and it just whole note for a count. It just didn't work for me. So I said, no, mom. I was like that kid, in Christmas, you don't want to read the instructions. You just want to just start putting the train set together. And it's like, dude, we got instructions. Now I figured it out. Let me figure it out. Right. That was me. But then I was able to get the experience in high school, and I talked about it on our last conversation, to be able to play in my jazz ensemble. So a lot of that, and it was so much
Mm,
fun doing that, man. We would go do competitions, and it was fun. It was really, really fun at that time. But a lot
mm,
of that is gone. A lot of that's been taken away.
wow.
But to do it on this level, and I'm not knocking anybody who teaches at guitar centers or your local music stores, but this is going to be something different that we're going to be offering, um just the students and the kids and the families. They're going to be actually getting real experiences. And if you go to the website doaacademyofthearts.org and just go
Mm,
through it and go to the instructors page and look at all the instructors that's going to be working with your kids. Their bios are up
wow.
there. um and all these everybody's going to be really taking their time and working with these kids and giving it back, and everybody's so committed to it. um and so which is making me excited.
Yeah, we could show some of these pictures that just to get a sense of when um, this whole thing sort of started for you.
Okay.
Yes. Um, okay. So I'm not sure if you're able to see.
Yeah,
Do you want to
that's the
talk through
picture.
who
Yeah.
this is and what's
Oh,
going on?
okay, that's the picture with me, Mono, and George Duke that I was telling you about the story, right? That we took that picture at that academy. That's when I first met Mono. He was Mono, the rising star then. Right now, he's a superstar, right? And that's my buddy, my brother George Duke, and that was at the academy. And I had to take a picture with this dude
Okay.
because man, he was killing that bass so hard. Then I said, dude, I'm gonna get one before the rest of the world find out about it.
Okay. Where does he? Okay, so does he play with other bands or is he on his own?
Well, Mono is probably the biggest internet sensation on the internet. When I first heard him with a band, it was the Ghost Notes. I think it was when he was playing with Ghost Notes. But now he has his own career, man. He's the biggest thing on the internet as a bass player, and he's doing his thing. Phenomenal, funky, brilliant brother. Just just a superstar right now in the world of bass. Big influencer. Doing this.
Okay.
I'm
What
proud
about
of him.
is
I got to reset. Hold
yeah?
on.
So what about this? Okay, are you there? Oops. Let me stop this. Uh, Stop sharing. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to bring in DOA. He kind of just. Oh, it looks like as if you jumped off. What happened to your phone? Okay, are you there? Can you hear me? Oh, Alex, yes, he did work with Snooky Norford for his debut album. Hold on, I'm gonna bring him back
Yeah,
in.
my bad, man. I'm on my phone. I usually do this on my computer, but I don't know. But I'm on my phone,
Okay,
and people are calling me. Leave me alone. So
okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah, okay. We just want to say hello to John from Troop. He's watching.
Hey, man. When I tell you, those are my brothers for life, bruh. Man, those are my brothers, man. My most favorite tour ever, in all tours that I've ever done. I'm proud to say that was
Even Ribbon,
my most
even against
favorite tour.
Ribbon Nation.
Hey, brother, my most favorite. See, Rhythm Nation was the biggest life changing tour for me. Okay,
Okay,
but my most
okay.
favorite fun, wild and out tour was with Troop, John, Reggie, Rodney, Steve. All of them guys, man. That was my favorite tour of life. So I love you, John, man, for
Wow.
that.
Okay. So I'm going to go back and share
Oh, I gotta
the
send a shout out
presentation
to my boy
because
Allen. Allen, I love you, man. All you guys, man. That was my joint, man. No better tour. No
okay.
better tour,
I want to
dog.
go back. uh, Want to go back and share the presentation here. And so, is this the hope for the entrance when they do come into
Yeah, that's the entryway.
the
That's
academy?
exactly what the entry. That's the entryway right there. Exactly. Yes, that's the entry.
Okay.
That's the guitar room. That's the Sandberg room. They will be learning, everything that has to do with bass and guitars. And I'm a Sandberg endorser, so I named that the bass room after Sandberg. Shout out to Sandberg.
Wow.
Um, that's the Sandberg
Okay.
room.
So would it be mix and leads?
Bass and lead guitars, yes. From bass, everything that
Okay.
has to do with guitar, acoustic guitar as well. Yes.
Okay.
Now, this
How
is an
this
interesting
is going to
room.
be an interesting thing.
Yeah, this is the vinyl room, right? So what we're going to be doing is sharing the experience with the students of where music started, where it came from. Sonically, right? We're going to teach them sonically the difference. And it's crazy because vinyl is coming back now, but that's where it started,
Yeah.
started right there. So we have a vinyl collection that's going to fill the room and will allow the kids um, to go and understand the history of vinyl and how important it is, especially everybody, especially the producers who's doing production. When you got everything digital now, they will be able to understand the difference sonically what it is. So
Hmm.
we're going to be
Okay.
educating the history on sound, and vinyl has everything to do with sound.
Okay.
That's the piano room.
What is this? Is a piano.
Yes, that's the piano
Okay.
room. Yeah,
And I can see headsets in there, so they can,
yeah,
instead of it disturbing everyone else, they can. Okay.
yep. That's the piano
Okay.
room.
Huh. What do you expect to do in this production, film, and music?
Okay, okay. This room is called the Brian Porter Palace, and what it is dealing with production on one side. You see, the room split, right? One day it'll be production
Okay.
side where kids will learn how to produce records, make beats, make music, film, television scoring, everything that has to do with production, right? The other side is
Hmm.
film and television side where they'll learn the art of making films, making movies. You know, they're doing it right now on their cell phones. So
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah.
get the experience of working with, great producers, great movie producers, in the film and television side. Getting it learn. We got it'll have be a green screen there. And they, do their own everything about film and television, everything, and producing movies.
Wow. And you named it after your late engineer.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely sure he'll be proud of this.
yes.
Oh, we've got
Drums and percussion.
drum and percussion.
Yeah, drum and percussion rooms. Um, Learning from some of the greatest drummers in the world. I mean, drum John Paris, Kurt Pescara. Taz Roberson, just some of the greatest drummers that ever sit down on drums. Will be working with the kids, and percussion as well.
Okay.
Now this is a performing arts theater here. So this is where the orchestra will be set up here. This will also be a room to where we'll invite fans and family to come see recitals. That they can come and watch the kids do certain recitals. Enjoy the orchestra once it's built. They'll get a like I was telling you, every quarter the orchestra will be learning artist music. And the friends and family can come and just sit down and look at the beginning process if they want. They'll be invited to come anytime they
Hmm.
want and watch their kids get prepared for this big moment. You know, um, I've already talked to
Wow.
Steve Russell. I know you listening, John. So Troop will be coming to the academy, doing the master class as well. They're gonna be doing the master class, and out there gonna be a cold bass player playing "My Heart" for. But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of that. What we're getting ready to perform. What we're getting ready to do.
Okay. Oh, we've done it. And what
Okay, now
about
that's a
this?
vocal room. So that's where kids will be taught vocal lessons, vocal training, ear training, everything that has to do with anything that has to do with vocals. So it will be right there, and there'll probably be a recording, we'll have a recording studio in there, so they'll be able to record their vocals and see how their vocals sonically sound on tape as well. So we'll have a Logic, a Pro Tools unit in that room as well. So that's everything from
Okay.
ear training. And the thought process is to we'll do an
Okay.
assessment on each kid, and there might be kids who want to just play by ear. Maybe they might just want to play by ear. I don't know how to read. I'm not proud to say brag or boast because I wish I did, but I got through my whole career without knowing how to read. And so some kids might want to just say, yeah, I just want to play by ear. Then there's going to be some kids say, no, I want everything that has to do with theory. I want to get everything that has to do with musical theory. I want to be classically trained in everything. And so they will be able to have those opportunities um, to learn once we do an assessment of the students. Lost your sound.
Oh yeah. It just seems as if it's it's going to be an amazing opportunity, especially with so much loss. But I do wonder um, how, because once field dreams, when you build it, they will come. Do you build it as big as possible, or do you, is it so that it could house as many as 1,000 kids, or how do you
I
think
mean,
you?
I mean, I'm just 1,000. I wish we could get 1,000. That means we got to open up another school. So, and that's what we plan on doing anyway. We're going to definitely do that. So,
Okay.
no, we're going to, as far as building the kids' dream, you're talking about? That what you're saying?
Yeah, no, because when you build a structure like this,
Yeah,
it will
yeah,
people will come because it's like this is what we're missing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I agree. It's a heavy lift, but it's much needed, and we have the tools to do it. So, when I was a kid, you know, I was a rock star at an early age, and and didn't know nothing about it. But my biggest fan was my mother, and I used to tell her how much I was a rock star. I was a rock star. I was a rock star, baby. Mom, I'm a rock star. Yeah, okay, rock star. Now go take out the garbage. So, but the dreams and the aspirations that I had, and kids have a more today more than anything. Why?
Mm,
Because you have these tools that makes you quote unquote overnight millionaires and sensations in the internet and these things
mm,
that it's a whole different thing. So now a kid can have the biggest dream in the world, and not only that, they get to meet and work with people who are doing it real time, and they're learning from the greatest musicians in the world, right? It's an after school
yeah.
program, 3 hours during the week after school, Monday through Friday. And on Saturday, it'll be a 5 hour day with an hour lunch. So it'll be
Wow.
uh, a hour lunch and a 4 hour, academic program. So
Wow.
that's what we're doing. And, the goals are high. So you guys go to the website. Please go to the website, DOA Academy of the
Mm,
Arts .org. DOA
yeah.
Academy of the Arts.org. People are already donating money, man. We're raising money. We going after the grants. Everything that a nonprofit does, that's what we're doing. So any donations, anybody you can contribute, you can donate. 50 cent, $1, $5, $10, a dime, whatever your heart says. Everything helps, and we're excited about this. We got some fundraising events that we're going to be doing between now and then, that we're putting together right now. The website will be even stronger within the next week or so. The renderings and the pictures will actually be on the website, as well as much more. So yeah,
Yeah.
y'all please go check it out. Tell me, leave a comment, come, subscribe, whatever you guys do. Please go check it out.
Yeah. I'm seeing. Is that Femi Kuti you put on the front page? Why is the Academy of the Arts? But that the guy on the second page is that Femi
That's
Kuti?
Eddie M. That's
Okay.
Eddie M. The guy. That's the great Eddie M.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
yeah. That's the great Eddie Menenfield. Yeah, saxophone.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the instructors for the DOA Academy. So we have a lot of people in our city, man, that really is interested in woodwind and brass instruments. So they're like going crazy. They can't wait. They
Oh,
can't wait. So um yeah, everything will be offered. Everything will be offered. Then we're going to be doing a lot of things off campus. We're going to be doing some gospel concerts to raise money for the program. Every year on the campus, we're going to be doing a major concert every year. One year maybe gospel, one year maybe jazz. We're hoping our first year is going to be a jazz concert. We're going to have it on the campus, sound, everything, lights, everything. And then one year might be hip hop, one year may be R&B, and that'll be a yearly annual music festival that we'll be doing at the campus of the academy.
wow. It's if you started off the year feeling a little tired and stressed with the amount of work you were doing as a producer and dealing with personalities, I would imagine that this would probably trump anything that you've done in the past, because not just, yeah, anyone can do a building work, but it's for the message you're trying to send out.
That's a great point and great thought process. And you're right. It's been a lot of work, man. But it's not work when you're enjoying it, man. I don't give a damn what nobody say, man. If you love your job, it's not work.
Yeah.
You know, when it becomes your job miserable and you making 300,000 or 400,000 a year or a day or whatever the hell you making, when it becomes miserable, then that's when it becomes a problem. You know,
Yeah.
so yes, the workload has been really, really tough. I got some people that really believe in me. I got some people that um, that really care about me, man, love like me. I know I'm getting on a lot of their nerves,
Mhm.
but they're rocking with me. Um, they're rocking with me, and I think here's the crazy part. The toughest thing is this for me is that all my life, man, other than being a sideman, like when I played with Troop was the principals. I was a bass player. Although that's one group that made everybody feel like family. You wasn't a side man, you was a star with them. But them dudes was rock stars, man. I'm telling you, man, they were crazy. But as a producer, when you get as a producer, you're used to kind of being in control of everything, right? You're used to you knowing what you're
Mhm.
doing. You know you got to make a record, or you got to add some parts, or you got to call a musician in to play, or you're gonna do it yourself, whatever. You kind of like the quarterback. You kind of bringing everything home. You're the coach. You're the quarterback. With this, dealing with a nonprofit, dealing with a 501, dealing with all these things that I have no clue about. So I'm learning. I have
Yeah.
to depend on other people to be my eyes and my ears, and I can't just tell them what to do. you
Mm.
know, you know
Mm.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I can't tell nobody what to do other than they see the vision. Everything you see has been put together over the past 3.5 years. That's the vision. Now the execution time, I have to rely on other people that I trust, and I do. I love them all dearly, to be my eyes and ears. The beautiful thing, and if everybody go to the website and go look at everybody that's going to be working with your kids, you'll see that everybody's more than qualified to make
Mhm.
this thing happen and to bring a great experience for your kids so they can learn and be a part of something. And then when they graduate the academy, it will be something amazing. Now, before I let you go, you got to ask me. And I'm surprised you didn't ask me this question, because this was the question
Okay.
that you asked me. There's a question that you asked me that I said I can't say. I can't answer that question. Right? You asked me about DOA, right? So
Yes, that you.
I'm surprised you didn't say so. Why is it the DOA Academy and not the DOA Academy? I'm surprised you didn't ask me that. You might want to ask me that question, because I'm really ready to be a real big blessing to you and everybody who's
Okay.
listening right now. You might want to ask that question right now is the perfect time.
Yeah, because we've got the website up. It's DOA Academy of the Arts, and so um, yes. Why did you drop the DOA? Can I
Oh,
put it
brother, I
like
love you, man. I love you. You the dopest dude. Well, man, well, now's the time. Let me share this with you. So I knew that the we had to have a name, something that was a brand, something that was stick, and I knew I had the logo and the name. The thing had to be special, right?
Hmm.
So I was watching, I was watching this documentary on the Rolling Stones, and they were
Mm.
talking to the guy who invented their logo, with the logo with the tongue, and you know
Yeah, yeah.
the big logo. That's you see that it's the Rolling Stones. And then he was just
Mm.
talking. Everything he was saying made sense. You know, When you see the Shell gas station is Shell, you know what it is. It's just the
Mm,
logo, you know what it is, right? So
mm.
I was giving that a lot of thought. I said, I want something like that. I want something like that. So I was talking to me and my guy, and we were talking about things, and then I thought about. I said, every time I go overseas with Lionel, every time I go over there, they call me Doa. Because it's
Oh,
just everything is, and that's what really it is, right? But people don't call me that. It's just DOA. So a couple of my friends call me Doa. They've been calling me that for years, right?
Odoa.
But yeah, but I said, okay, now if I name it the DOA Academy, people are going to be like, okay, well, what does the DOA stand for? What does DOA stand for? So I'm gonna have to really tell them what it stands for now, right? So man, drum roll, drum. Drum roll, brother. Drum roll. Man, so people think the DOA stands for Derek Oliver Allen, Derek Oscar Allen. I even had one fool call me Derek Orenthal. Uh,
OJ.
and what's so crazy? What's even more funny is that um my own relatives don't even know what it stands for. My own relatives, they call themselves bragging on me, like people they know, right? Bragging on me, right? But somebody come to me and said, yo, man, I met your cousin. Man, your cousin asked me did I know you. Your cousin said, man, you know my cousin, right? I said, no, who your cousin? My cousin, man, DOA, Derek Allen, Derek Allen.
Terry
So my
Allen.
own cousins don't even know what DOA stands for. My own family. So DOA stands for, let me tell you how I got the name. The first time I showed up at the studio with Chucky Booker, he called me after that 3 weeks, and he called me to come do those remixes. And we were in the studio for 4 hours. Chucky Booker said, yo, dude, from here on out, you're going to be DOA. You're going to be DOA. You're going to be DOA. I said, okay, I don't know. Really? What does that mean? Because my middle name is Lewis. It's L. I'm Derek Lewis Allen. I'm not, that doesn't make sense. He says, nah, man. He said, let me tell you what it stands for. Here's what DOA stands for. DOA stands for Death on Axe. Death on Axe. So you remember back in the day, right now we saying dope. Oh, that's so dope, right? But back in the 90s, in the 80s, oh man, that's death. Like Def
Oh yeah,
Jam, Def
Def
Comedy
Jam,
Jam.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So at that time, everything was deaf, right? Man, and deaf was good. Deaf wasn't, man, dude, that's deaf
Oh,
record, man.
not
I
the
love
that.
it. But
Okay, yeah, yeah.
but now it's a dope record. Were you familiar with that here in America? Were you familiar with that in this back in that time?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Def, yeah. But I was glad that you cleared it up because I thought you meant DEAT, the
No,
end.
Def, DEF.
That, oh, Def, yeah, yeah, like Def, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not quite. It's still tied to no. It's Def on X. So when everybody that's been the 30 for forever. So I figured once everybody graduates, whether you're doing arts, whether you're doing film and television, whether you're doing vocal, whether you're doing piano, whether you're doing production, you are officially going to be DOA, Deaf on Your Axe. You'll be DOA. And
Def on your axe, like
because see, an axe, AX, you got to remember, back in the day, your bass was your
axe,
axe.
my axle.
Are you
Ah.
familiar with that? So your guitar, he said, man, you bring your axe to the studio.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah, 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 yes.
that was the
Like
thing.
shaped, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that was the thing very big here for and it still is. Man, that dude Cole on the axe. Axe was your instrument, whether it's your drums or whatever, or your vocals, whatever your instrument is, that's your axe.
Oh,
Hey,
I thought it meant deadly on arrival. I th-
No, it's not deadly on arrival. People thought it meant, DOA dead on arrival. And, people. So the reason why I didn't want it at first, I said, Chucky, my haters, man, you know, they don't be DOA. They be like, yeah, man, you look
okay.
all that, right? But no, it was that thing he gave crazy because it just was quickly branded. So I said, okay, this is how I could tie it in and make it work for my academy. And the team loves it, everybody loves it. So so DOA Academy, yeah,
Wow. Wow, goodness. Wow. I mean, I think the one thing about in the Old Testament says, "My people perish without a vision
yeah. Without wisdom and
and
knowledge, yeah,
being able to without wisdom." So being able to give them the sense that as you come through here, you are going to be on your axe. So that
yes,
whatever it is, whether it's going to be the drums, the
yes.
piano,
That's it,
the
exactly.
keys, but you just have to embrace that title and because I think yeah, if you don't, because maybe members they don't have who can speak into their lives. Maybe they just have people around them that just thinks, man, the system is rigged. There's no point. They have something higher to achieve, and it's written in there. It will just pick up. So I mean, it's the name that you were given by the amazing Chucky Booker, which as for now, people see you either one of the greatest one of the bass players, but for as an amazing producer, now you're giving it to others, and with the hope that done, you want people to
Absolutely,
come through those doors and surpass what you've done. So wow,
absolutely, absolutely. And so I'm really excited about it. I'm really, and then the next part of that, what we our ultimate thing, what we plan on doing, we're planning on opening up, maybe total about 5 academies, and this is our goal. Into we want to go to rural areas, stay away from major markets like New York. I'm going to take it there. There's not much happening in cities and states where there's not a lot happening. Like one is going to be in Columbia, South Carolina. That's where my family's from. Allen, my family's from there. And, there'll be another one maybe in Jackson, Mississippi. Might be one in Akron, Ohio. We're going to go to places where there's not a lot going on there. We're still going to facilitate it with the greatest instructors in the world that's working with these kids. Man, it's so crazy with all these instructors that that's a part that you guys see on that website. They are so looking forward to giving back. I mean,
mm.
to giving back, to getting their companies to donate instruments. And I know my company is excited to about working with the academy, and we want to
Wow,
give the kids the best of everything. We don't want to get hand me down computers. We don't want to get hand me. We'll get what we can get, but we want to give the kids excellence. That's what they deserve. And everybody is so excited about it. D, say less, say less, say less,
wow,
say less. And people say,
wow.
oh, well, don't don't Sean Hinton live in Milwaukee? Yeah, but Sean Hinton is going to come down maybe once every other month, maybe for 2 weeks, and work with these
Mm.
kids. You know, don't Dimitri Gordeski live in L.A.? Yeah, but Dimitri's going to come out, once a month, once a week, twice a week to work with these kids. He's going to talk about his experience with the Super Bowl with Usher and Post
Yeah,
Malone and everybody he's doing. He's going to be able to share these things with the kids. Don't
wow,
John Paris and Earth, Wind, and Fire, don't they? Yeah, but they're going to come here after they finish their weekend with Earth, Wind, and Fire. They're coming to Sacramento and work with these kids. That's what they want to do. And so I'm excited about it. Got great producers. Got great
mm.
producers working with these kids. Please go and look at the website and look at the purpose and what the mission and everything is on there. And I welcome everybody to make, comments or whatever. We're still just jump starting. It's still brand new. As we get closer, there'll be definitely more information that we're going to be putting out. Like I said, man, you're the second interview that I've done actually. So, this is very special to me, and I appreciate you, helping me out, picking up the phone and having this conversation with me.
Yeah, and people can donate if they want to sew into it as well online.
Yes, yes, they can donate. Yes, yes, they can donate.
Okay, no, definitely. It's the amount of energy that you're investing in of others. It is something that I know that it is how somebody then would sow into the lives of your kids and your great grandkids, and then that's the kind of thing that happens when you sow into others. Um, it gets reaped in other ways, and there's so many times when I do stuff for kids, and my only reward and my only prayer is that I hope somebody sows into the lives of my kids the same way I'm doing it to others. Just because, if I, that's the only blessing, that's the only reward I ask, that somebody else would just take their time and do that to my own kid. Anything for myself, I just do that. So the fact that you're extending it for these kids, it's a lost art. I remember Jay King said the reason why music, R&B started to fade away in the 2000s is because real musicians were not being used to make records, and we're slowly losing that. So the fact that you are sewing back into um, your area and other places, try and get the kids back in on the instruments and really creating before AI decides to do it
God,
for us, and
yes.
then everyone becomes disabled.
Well, you know what, brother, man, I
Yeah.
appreciate those words. I concur with you. But really, I have no choice but to do what it is I've been doing all my life. As much as I can and when I can is giving back and helping. It's simple, man. I made a promise to God and I made a promise to my mother. If you, my purpose page, you can read all about that. The whole conversation that I had with my mother, and it was a promise to once you know once my dream became reality, my job was to never
Mm,
forget. My job was to always help somebody. Period. That was my
mm,
promise to my
yeah.
mother, was to always help somebody and to give it back. So I made that promise to God and my mother. I'm but I'm doing. I'm not doing this because I'm doing this because I have to do it. You
Mm,
dig what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I love doing it, but this is something that it's always been that way for me. And I don't want the credit for it. I want God to have all the glory. He's using me, but I want him to have all the credit and the glory. Man, I walk into my room every day and people will tell you who's in my room. My room uh, is a real sanctuary, man. It makes you feel some kind of way. And every day that I've been in this room, every day, that's not one day where I don't walk through those doors and say, "Good gracious God, thank you, thank you, thank you,
Mm, yeah.
thank you for everything, thank you." Just grateful because you know, um, um, you know, people work their whole life to achieve just as much of what I've achieved. To just this much,
Mm,
and they work their whole life, and some people never do, right? So, um, I think, and that's what I'm most grateful for in my life, that I do have. I mean, everybody don't like me, and that's cool. But I tell you what, man, I have great relationships. I have. You have to have great relationships in order to be able to pull something like this off.
mm,
That's number one. If you was a bad person, or if you were a person that nobody liked, and I'm just trying to help somebody. Like I said earlier, it's too easy to be nice. It's easy to be nice. It's hard to be an idiot or an asshole. You have to turn into something that you're not. You may have become that over your life, but when you came into this world, you were not that. You were pure and innocent. So
Yeah.
however you where you are now, that's on you. So if it was somebody like
Mm,
that, these people would not, they would not pick up the phone or answer the call or say yes, you know. And so
mm,
my job is to I just want to see these kids win and have something that I wish I would have had the opportunity to have. And I was very
yeah.
kid, something like that. And these that kind of that kind of level of throne. You look at they're looking forward to it. So that's what I was.
Okay. I think we lost the sound for a second. I'm not sure what happened. Um, the sound we lost the sound for a second.
Am
Not
I,
the problem.
okay.
Yeah, you're much
Okay.
better now. Yes. I think
Okay.
just as we wrap up, Sudoku sent a message and says, "Will the new university music include drummer Derek Organ and guitarist Tommy Organ?"
Who's this?
So no, I don't know where Seduku
Okay.
Olatuji, so probably
No,
maybe from
no,
Nigeria.
no,
So
no. The new band, the University 2.0, consists of a different drummer, for sure, different guitar player as well. Tommy O always has. He's always Tommy's busy, so Tommy always has a chair in the band. But there's definitely a different drummer that plays with University and another guitar player as well.
okay. And John says checking out the website,
John,
and
my brother, man.
that's yeah.
John, my
Wow.
brother, man. My brother.
So so we should so this should be 2026 around
Yes,
spring or
for
May.
sure.
We it should be up and running.
We hope that's the goal.
Between now and then, what should we expect from the from you through other artists?
Um, I got some records coming out on, like so. Got some great music, like I said earlier. Um, Working with some other independent artists that I'm excited about. But the most important thing, man, right now, you know, um, all my head and shoulders is going into my academy and still, working with other people because I still have to make a living. So, and I'm doing that. Still got to do it, but now I'm just having fun with it. Really having fun with the people that I'm working with. Um, and just took myself out of a strenuous situation. You know.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Derek, as always, it's always been great. Hearing the story, but hearing this type of community outreach, and hopefully people will also think about sewing in young kids, especially giving them a talent like this. That's the one area that we're all suffering from, is just that we don't have great musicians who are making great music. And so definitely we definitely wish you luck with that, and we will.
Thank you,
and
sir.
and and when it's about to go, when it's to get to live, also get back so we can continue with the fundraising and continue to raise awareness of it as well.
Thank you so much.
um
well, let me answer a question that I get hit with all the time. Maybe somebody might have. People, I've been asked, is this going to be available online? But people say, well, is it going to be available online? Not at the time. Maybe sooner or later. I don't know. But right now, we want the whole hands-on experience with kids, working with these instructors, getting a hands-on experience versus doing it, teaching online. Sooner or later, we will do because there has to be a whole different type of curriculum created for that type of thing. So at this point, for definitely with the uh,
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure why there's announcing stuff. It's we are struggling. It just only started a few minutes ago. Where what you're saying. It it seems to be crackling. Just your sound. I don't know, unless it can't just.
yeah, I don't know. I have a low battery
Yeah.
too, but can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
cool,
much better.
cool.
Yeah. That's
Hopefully
much
you heard
better.
what I said.
That's much
Hopefully you
better.
heard what I said.
Okay.
Cool, good.
Yes.
All right, cool,
Yes.
man.
Oh, okay, guys. So please, yes, remember DOA Academy of the Arts.org. Yeah, let's support, let's promote, and as he said that it's in person at first, and as things, because you want to have the kids, and maybe as things grow, there will be the opportunity to do an online version to reach other
Yes,
kids, but hands-on for the beginning. A music center for young and gifted,
yes,
and that
yes.
and then we definitely appreciate you for that. And so
But hey,
yeah, Karen has been teasing new music as well. So let's look.
oh yeah,
Yeah, go
Karen's
ahead.
got some. We got some great music, man. She got some great music. But hey, man, if anybody across the seas, the water, want to get their kids enrolled, we make it work. We would love to have you. You're more than welcome. Bring them on across the water. Come on, let's go. Take advantage of this. Bring them on.
Yeah.
Y'all get an Airbnb for about 3 months. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
I mean, it's
go.
good that Sacramento is the home of the. I just finally, I mean, who do you think brought the music industry vibe to Sacramento? How when did you who do you think was responsible for the Sacramento having his own?
One person as far as Sacramento, his name was Mr. Robert Brookins. Robert Brookins
Okay.
he's the king, he's the prince, he's still the blueprint of our town. Robert Brookins is he's gone, but Robert Brookins was doing this at 8 years old. He was on the Ed Sullivan show. At 10 years old, he was playing drums for BB King. At 17,
Wow.
16, 17, he was playing with George Duke and Stanley Clark. You know, he's producing Earth, Wind, and Fire, producing Del Bozio, producing Stephanie Mills, producing everybody in the world. And so he was producing the Jacksons. So Robert Brookins is the guy who we all was raised under. Incredible
Okay.
musician,
Yeah, Jay
incredible
King.
producer.
Yeah, Jay King. He started working with him when he moved back to Sacramento and learned under his wings as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Wow, what a legacy.
Yes.
What a legacy we're getting from that Bay Area. Wow. It has been fascinating. It's been great, and it's just been a blessing to
Yeah.
hear about this academy. And yeah, we can't wait to see it live, and seeing the kids just beating the fruit of that as well. Yeah, we're definitely going to pray that as you bless us, then your grandkids and great grandkids will reap the rewards of that blessing. So yes, that's definitely what we're going to pray for.
Man, I can't tell you how much I thank you. I love you, man. I appreciate you. I will hit you like soon as we get closer. We will reconnect and yeah, but I'll keep you posted. All right, I'll keep you posted
Yeah,
from
please
then to
do.
that. All right, man, and I appreciate the support with everybody who follows your platform. It's the greatest platform on. I'm learning how to enter, brother, because and I got to reach out to you. Next one, you're gonna see he gonna be on the DOA playlist. Also, y'all go follow me on Instagram. Go follow me on Instagram at DOA Allen. Go follow me over there. And it's I'm playing a little tiny bass. You're gonna go over there and enjoy some of the stuff. But go on my Instagram at DOA Allen. Follow me. I'll hit you back and go to the DOA playlist on YouTube.
Yeah, and don't forget, on YouTube, DOA playlist. His first guest was Chucky, but he's got all the legends and people that you wouldn't know, but just hearing this story, that's the difference. It isn't like he's talking to real musicians about the art. So they're very fascinating watch to follow. So search DOA playlist
Yes, sir.
and don't adjust your screens, even if it's black and white. He's explained earlier in the show
Right.
that he's got a fascination with black and white. And the one DOA,
Right.
he doesn't take pictures. It's really hard to find a picture of him anyway. I don't know
Right.
if he's camera shy. You get videos, but
Um,
never pictures.
right. That's good. That's good. You're right. You're right. You're so right,
Yeah.
man. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I was fortunate to find one that you had two guitars in your hand. I thought you were endorsing some guitars, so I said, okay, that's a clear picture of his face.
Yeah, that's on. So that's on the Sandberg website. I had to take pictures for my bass company, Sandberg, which is the greatest company on the planet. So I had to take some pictures, man. And I was gonna send them black and white, but I said, now let me give them color pictures. I'll give them color. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you know Anthony Hall.
Anthony Hall. That name sounds familiar.
Okay, and yeah, okay, not a problem. Well, John seems to know Anthony as well. But anyway, not a problem. Well, it's been great, and it is
Yes,
midnight over
sir.
here. Bo,
All right,
and so
man.
guys, follow this. The link will be in the bio for the DOA Music Academy, so we can go on, support, and pray for it as well. And
Thank
pray
you,
for
man.
DOA, especially with the stress free, because this is going to be a big undertaking. And if you didn't start the interview, he did talk about having a hernia, just being stressed out, and the doctor saying, "Look, you need to take it easy." So
Yeah.
it's So there's a lot that we've learned
Yes,
today.
sir. Hey,
Okay.
you learn with DOA, man. So I said I'm gonna definitely I gotta tell it on this show and on this platform so that way everybody knows.
Yes.
So there you go,
I
man.
always thought it was deadly on arrival. I thought that was what it
Oh
is,
man.
but he said
De-
death on the
Deaf on
axe. Is it
Axe.
on
Deaf on Axe.
death on
Yep.
axe?
Hey
Death
man,
on axe, and that's DEF.
Blame Chucky Booker for it, man. Blame him.
Yeah. But we might see University 2.0 doing some shows again.
We're
I
gonna
know you
see
guys did
University.
Yoshi
Yes, sir. You're gonna definitely see University real soon, man. It's just,
2.0.
2.0. You're gonna see University real soon because we had a nice run like a year or so ago, and it was fun. Chucky's just trying to finish up some of his schedule, and yeah, and y'all make sure you tell him to drop that album. Stop playing.
How was that Yoshi? Because it was
Oh
packed and
man, oh man. Every show we've done since we've been back together. We've done Yoshi's twice. We've done 4 shows, and every show
wow.
has been amazing. Every show has been just amazing, and they really love the music. They love him. They love the band, and it's just incredible. And it felt good to be up there playing. My playing days is pretty much done, but I'll
Oh,
pick it up for Booker, man.
okay. Oh, so you're not. Because I do see you do your little snippets playing it, but and
Yeah.
you almost smoke coming out when you're playing it. But you say you're playing days.
Hey,
You say you're
that's one
playing
thing I
days
will be
ago.
doing. I'm going to be one thing I will be doing next year. I don't know when. Maybe February, March. I will be teaching. I will be teaching
Okay.
because of Boogie Wednesday on my Instagram. I have so many people in my DM asking me, for lessons. And the first thing I tell them, listen, I would love to teach you, but I can't teach you theory. I don't read. I can just teach you what it is I do. And like, I don't want to. I want to learn what it is you do. Can you please teach me? I'm talking about people from Africa, man. People all over the world are hitting me.
Mm.
So I decided that I will be giving lessons, and it will be definitely online. And I don't know yet when, but I will be teaching people. And I hate to say giving lessons. I'm going to teach people the way I think on bass, the way I approach bass, the way I play bass. And if they want to learn that, they can have it. I'll teach them whatever. I'll teach them give them anything I got. I've been getting a lot of people hitting me, so that's one thing I will be doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just as you sow into others, it will be reaped back in hundredfold. So that's definitely that's amazing.
Yes.
So Monday for a new episode of DOA playlist that
Don't
out.
miss it.
He
Yes.
hasn't told us who the guest is. So he says a big, you know.
Yeah. Big producer
we look forward to that. Okay.
for sure. All right, brother.
We
My brother,
appreciate
man.
you.
Love you, sir. We'll talk soon, man. All right, brother. Thank y'all.
Take care. Bye. Okay, guys, don't forget to follow him. But I appreciate that he took to speak to us and stuff. New Jack Swing podcast on Sunday. The Battle of the Bands, Blackstreet. Finally, guys, 3 album. See you later. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between
us, or even loving us, on which I did miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
Still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay, okay.
They don't understand what those boys win in all spirits.